نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So yesterday we were discussing the hadith. Who will tell me what it was? Can I put people on the spot? Is that okay? I think young people can be put on the spot. I think it's alright, right, Nazrul? Yes? Yes. The brother over there. Tell us a little bit. Remember what yesterday's hadith was?
I don't remember exactly.
I'll give you a hint.
It's about the importance of the father.
Very good.
Three-step things.
Very good. Yes, absolutely. So how was the phrasing of the hadith? Does anyone remember? It started with something like يعقد الشيطان على قافية أحد رأس أحدكم. Yes, do you remember?
I was not here, but I know the hadith.
You know the hadith. Okay. Okay, yes. So Satan, he ties 3 knots at the back of a person's neck. إذا هو نام, when he's going to sleep. And what does he say? يضرب كل عقدة. What does he say? He says, عليك ليل طويل فارقد. Go to sleep, you have a long night ahead of you. And then afterwards what happens? If he wakes up, وإذا استيقظ, what happens? انحلت عقدة. Sorry, إن استيقظ فذكر الله انحلت عقدة. If he does dhikr of Allah, one of the knot, it breaks loose. And the second, how did the second one break loose? Does anyone remember? Yes, mashallah. وإن توضأ انحلت عقدة. And the third one? Yes, وإذا صلى انحلت عقدة. And what's the result? What happens? MashaAllah. Yes. أصبح نشيطا طيب النفس. وإلا, and if that does not happen, what happens then? أصبح خبيث النفس كسلان. So we went over, we described how there was one very important point yesterday I mentioned. Who remembers that? It was relevant to the hadith, but it's not in the text of the hadith. Does anyone remember? You always tell the answer, you wait. Somebody else will tell me for you. Give other people a chance.
Was not here.
No, you were. No. I believe you. No. We remember. I'm waiting on a doctor to tell us. I will not say the name.
It's a good way, really. When there is discussion, there is learning.
Alhamdulillah. So it was something about, being embarrassed, a little bit hesitant. Describing narrations like these, when we see narrations which have spiritual metaphors, we feel hesitant in, I'm not even going to ask Dr. Muhammad, I already know he knows the answer, so we're just going to skip on. So we feel hesitant in describing these narrations in front of other people, especially people who are not Muslims, or even sometimes our kids, because they say, Dad, how does that make sense? 3 knots, Satan, where did that come from? But now that we have discovered, the thing with a lot of times that happens is that we don't have a temperament of research. Now that we are discovering more and more things as time progresses, we realize that religion never contradicted science. Science didn't catch up to religion. Now it's catching up. So now we are seeing things that didn't make sense at that time, or before us at least. Now we see, okay, so there are 3 levels of sleep inertia when we study sleep physiology. And we realize that the first level is the physical lethargy, which we call lethargy, or we call sluggishness. And then the second level is the mental lethargy, which we call grogginess. And then the third level is the absence of drive or profound thinking, which is controlled by the frontal cortex. And now we see that it works exactly like the Prophet said. If the person wakes up and says something that initiates purpose, if he wakes up, فَذَكَرَ اللَّهِ, what's do we know, we should also, I don't think we have covered the du'as for the day, right? Like when you wake up and you eat food, these are very, profound du'as. They are literally a lens through which you view reality. When you're doing an amal and you recite the dua and you understand the meaning and the implication, you realize, okay, so this is what it's asking of me before I do this amal. So it's a change of attitude. So a Muslim sees reality from a different lens. His lens is not the same as a non-Muslim. I remember I was sitting with my younger brother. He's not gonna mind if he describe him. So he got a new car. When he got a car and we started driving, super nice guy, like one of my favorite people in the world. So I say, what's the dua for sitting in a car? So he thinks about it a little bit and he says, I remember a little bit of it, but I can't recount. So he remembers like one word here and there. So I tell him, okay, how about we were going out for an outing for like 3 days. So I was like, okay, we will memorize 3 duas. So this guy, he's really smart, does not study, but he's very smart. So when I recite to him the dua, he goes, okay, what does that mean? And I was like, okay, why does it mean that? Why would somebody need to say, Subhanalladhi sakhkhara lana hadha wa ma kunna lahu muqrin? Why? So I start describing to him. So he was like, oh, okay, so it's actually giving the credit to, it's taking it away from me, it's giving it to Allah Azza wa Jal. I think I already the dua already contradicts the first part of why I bought this car. I bought it because it was pretty and I wanted to show off. And I thought it was like it was related to me. So it was idafa towards me. So it was how should I put it? It is some, yes, it's an expression of my identity. So I get to show off because of it. And the dua is telling me, no, it's not that. Absolutely not. So he's like just thinking about it and he was like, okay. And then the next day he asks me, what's the second dua we are going to do? Because he knows like there's something to learn, So since we get this in vartha, in inheritance, we don't realize how valuable this is. So anyways, we are going to move on. So once the hadith, we did the sleep inertia. We realized how when we do the dhikr of Allah and we know what it means. Alhamdulillah alladhi ahyana ba'da ma matana wa ilayhi nushur. So what does that mean? Why are we reminding ourselves of that? So we start our day knowing what the beginning of our life was and why we have come to this world. We remind ourselves of our real purpose before we get engaged and we are pulled in different directions by the world. Once we do that and we do wudu, we realized as soon as the water hits our face, the mammalian reflex kicks in, the adenosine and the melatonin, they start going down, and you're literally just washing away remnants of your sleep, if you want to put it that way. The third one, we realized when he starts praying, the third thing that needs deep focus and the prefrontal cortex starts warming up because of deep focus, that's prayer. So we literally just wake up, sleep inertia is gone. So the one point that I should mention today, and inshallah we'll conclude with that, and I'll tell you what we're going to do tomorrow inshallah as well, that the point here is for the friction to be present. Waking up for the morning prayer, the point of the training is for it to be hard. When sometimes we wake up and we realize, oh, it's too hard, today I'm not going to pray tahajjud or I'm going to pray fajr at home, we are missing the point. It is the point. It is supposed to be hard. And that is how the training will become successful. So yes, we shouldn't make a habit that we just sleep really late or anything, but if for some reason it happens sometimes, it's okay. We sacrifice the sleep and we endure the hardship, and that's going to build us. Because Allah Azza wa Jal, He says in the Quran, Inna nashiyat al-layli ashaddu wat'a wa aqwamu qila. That waking up in the night, He gives 2 characteristics to it. Hiya ashaddu wat'a wa aqwamu qila. These are 2. Ashaddu wat'a, there are different interpretations of it, but I'll just give you the one that the Jamhur go with. It tramples the nafs really bad. Like it literally tramples it. Because like I told you, the nafs, it has, according to modern psychology, there are 4 or 5 primary drives that everybody needs. Food, clothing, security, sleep. So one of them is being targeted. And you're being told that to forsake your sleep. If you can forsake one of the primary drives during the day, what else can you forsake? Other things, they become easy by extension. You're forsaking one of the primary drives, that's hardest to forsake. And Allah is saying, no, do it. Why? Because during the day when we look up and we shouldn't be looking up, or we see something, we have to move away from it, it becomes easy. We don't even know, but that tahajjud, that fajr, it actually prepared us to do this. Like there's such a strange connection. The desires, they start being subjugated. It becomes easy for us to subjugate our desires. And when we see profit and we want to indulge in it, when it's interest or there's something wrong with it, we don't do it. from that tahajjud that we were waking up for. We don't even realize. So subhanallah. So ashaddu wata wa aqwamu qila. And it's more suitable for the word to take effect. When we recite the Quran, there are two things at that time. Number one, there's no noise. It's silent, people are sleeping. So at that time, contemplation occurs. You need silence, you need solitude for contemplation to happen. And that's why many of our aslaf, they would read the Quran in the tafsir, and they would think about things during the times of tahajjud, when everybody was sleeping. And second, everybody is asleep, and because of that, since there's nobody there, who's going to see anybody? Nobody cares you're praying or not, everybody's sleeping. Just between you and him. Now there is sincerity, ikhlas. Automatically there is ikhlas. So anything that has ikhlas, Allah Azza wa Jal, He increases its effect, whether it's small or big. So may Allah Azza wa Jal. Oh, sorry, my last promise. Yes, what are we going to do tomorrow? Tomorrow is going to be something interesting. And this is something that has a very far-fetched, very profound effect on our life. It says, yaqidu shaytan. Shaytan is tying the knots. Does Shaytan have that power on us? We need to understand the way he operates, his modus operandi. Because if we can understand how he works, it becomes easier to battle him. So throughout our life, when we want to understand, our scholars, the bigger scholars, the fuqaha, they say that if the person understands these things, he understands when it's his nafs that is tempting him, when it is shaitan that is tempting him, when it is the zina of the dunya that is tempting him. It becomes easy to fight them. The enemy becomes clear, patent. So inshallah tomorrow we will discuss how shaitan works. Does he have that power on us? Can he actually tie knots, change our physiology or not? Subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.